So, Lina and Alex, today we're going to practice the 4 parts of the speaking paper of the C1 Advanced Cambridge exam. Okay, so we're going to try to reproduce the exam conditions, the exam situation as much as possible. It's not really, we're in different countries, in different places, but we'll do our best. I'd like to, before each part, maybe you can give us some of your tips or some of your strategy for each part, just to share with each other and anyone who's watching. So we'll go straight on to part 1 now.
Okay.
So this part, you know the type of questions you'll get, but do you have any kind of strategy? Lina, we'll start with you.
Be ready. Be ready for personal questions, about your background.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also if the question is asked both of us, so we decided that Lina is going to be the first who starts speaking, so not to interrupt each other.
Well, in part 1, the examiner, the interlocutor, will ask direct questions to each student. So they'll say, for example, Alex, where are you from, for example.
Okay.
But later in other parts of the exam, it's a good idea to get some kind of strategy for who is going to speak first. But in this first part, it's quite clear. The examiner will speak to each of you independently in this case.
Okay.
But I was thinking more about sort of the length of the answers. I mean, do you...
Yeah, it shouldn't be short and it shouldn't be too long. So just medium-sized.
Exactly, medium size,
Medium, sorry.
No, it's fine. But it's a good tip, as I think you'll demonstrate now. So the best way to do it is to demonstrate. Okay, so the examiner will say something like, first of all, we'd like to know something about you. So, Alex, where are you from?
I'm from a small town in the Northern Caucasus, which is called Nalchik. So I was born there and lived until 16.
Okay. And how long have you been studying English?
I suppose I've been studying English for about 20 years since school, since I was a child.
Okay. And Lina, where are you from?
I'm from Voronezh. It is not big city near the capital of our country, Moscow. So I was born here and I live here. I have been living for all my life.
Okay. And what do you do there?
I'm a teacher. I'm an English teacher, but now I'm on maternity leave. But I work part-time.
Okay. And Alex, what sort of work would you like to do in the future?
I suppose I would like to do the same job, the same work as I'm doing right now, teaching. Yeah, I love that. I love my students, and actually I adore teaching and learn something new. So I would like to continue working in this field, in this area.
Okay. And Lina, if you could travel to one country in the world, where would you go?
It's a difficult question because I'm just eager to visit all the places in the world, but just the first country will be France, I think.
Okay. Okay, good. So that's the end of part 1. Obviously, in the exam, you would go directly onto part 2, but we'll get some feedback. Alex, how did you feel about that?
I suppose more confident than the last time.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah.
It's progress.
But still nervous.
Right. Well, it's okay to be nervous. I would be worried if you weren't nervous, to be honest.
I tried to stick to the question, not to speak about anything else, because I tend to do that sometimes.
Right. You tend to go off on a tangent. Well, that's good. Yeah, if you can be conscious of that. Yeah. And Lina, what did you think?
I'm still nervous, but it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you feel, when you've practiced this before, does part 1 relax you a little bit? Do you feel, because obviously when you start you're probably more nervous, but does that help you for part 2 or not?
To tell the truth, we haven't experienced it much, so we didn't act it like this, like just it's now. So as for me, this part is the most difficult because I don't know what the question will be.
Yeah, I think usually you get these first two questions, like where are you from?
Yeah,
it's not guaranteed, but probably, yeah, that one's quite easy. And then how long have you been studying English? What do you do? And those types of things. But then there could be a more random question which you may not, well, you won't be prepared for. You can't prepare for because you don't know what it will be. And Lina, I felt that you were a bit surprised by your question, or?
Yeah, because now with the situation with this virus, and I don't even just think about traveling.
Right.
Yeah,
It seems like
that's a pity, but it's true.
Yes, the reality that you haven't been thinking about traveling for a long time, so it was a real hypothetical question. But yeah, I thought your answers were very good. The perfect length, as you said, not too short, not too long, nice. As I always say, if necessary, the examiner will interrupt you. It's not really a problem as long as you've answered the question before they interrupt you. So, but yeah, the only thing, try to use more advanced vocabulary, but you will have plenty of time to do that. Like when you're describing where you live, where you're from, try to force in some way some good adjectives, but I'm being very picky, very critical. It's a very good start.
Like not from just a city or a town, just a tiny town.
Exactly, yeah.
In the Northern Caucasus. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just released a video on this, like a quaint town, a quaint village, a quaint town. As I said in the video, maybe you don't or haven't lived in a pretty quaint village. Maybe it's a hideous neighborhood of a city, or ugly. So yeah, just you could prepare a few adjectives. Part one is an opportunity to make a good first impression, to really impress the examiners immediately. But let's go on to part two. So this is the pictures. So this is a tough one. Obviously, you have 1 minute to talk about two of the pictures. Any tips or strategies that you have for this that you can share?
Yeah, just follow the questions. Yeah, read the questions carefully and don't just go somewhere else. Just answer the questions.
Yeah, don't forget to answer the questions. Yeah, that's another thing when people are nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, while you are describing the pictures, just compare them as well as you're describing just at that time.
Yeah, and not describing, but just
compare.
Compare and contrast them.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need to really describe, but when you're comparing, you will naturally be describing, but you don't need to say the man is wearing a red jacket or whatever. Just compare immediately. I always recommend that you have some sort of fixed expressions that you can use. For example, I mean, and this could be personal to you, but you could start by saying, in both pictures we can see. So you immediately start with similarities, and then in this picture there is or there are, whereas in this picture, and so then you're focusing on the differences. And of course you have to speculate. It's all about speculation. So you need to use speculative vocabulary, as you know. And it's only 1 minute. That's the biggest challenge. You have to do all of that in 1 minute and use impressive vocabulary. So, but no pressure. So the examiner will say, or the interlocutor will say, in this part of the test, I'm going to give you each 3 pictures. I'd like you to talk about 2 of them on your own for about a minute, and also to answer a question briefly about your partner's picture. So, Lina, it's your turn first. Here are your pictures. So I'd like you to compare 2 of the pictures and say what might each TV series be about and what the characters might be like. So we have 1 minute.
Okay, so both pictures show us some scenes from the TV series. In the first picture we can see a girl which is probably a prisoner, so she's probably accused of doing something bad. And in the second picture we can see the army of robots, I think robots, and they are just ready to struggle with somebody or something, I'm not sure. So just the characters might be, in the first picture the character might be just innocent girl who was accused just of nothing, and the robots. I don't like the robots, to tell the truth, but I think that they are just helping the Earth to fight with the aliens, for example. So they are brave and they are just okay. They are
Okay,
strong.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Alex, which of the series would you prefer to watch and why?
I suppose I would prefer to watch the second one, as I'm into fantasy and I really like such films. I suppose that I would like watching this more.
Okay, let's talk about that for a bit before we go on to Alex's turn. Lina, what did you think?
I don't like my answer.
No? Why?
Yeah. Because yeah, this topic is not mine. So I don't know more, just many words and many phrases about this. Yeah. So I lack vocabulary, and
Right.
that's why just my answer was.
You don't feel
So.
you don't
Yeah, I
feel you
don't
used enough
feel. Yeah.
vocabulary, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a particularly difficult exercise.
Yeah.
More difficult than other ones, as we said. Yeah, it's but I thought you did well. I mean, surprisingly, you finished before the minute was
Yeah.
up, which
But did I answer the question?
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's
The questions.
the questions. Yeah, I mean, yes, you did. You spoke about what the series might be about. A girl. Well, you spoke about the characters, but before that, you said prisoner and robots, and then you spoke about the characters. But yeah, maybe you could have developed it a bit more. I think you could have spoken about what the series might be about a little more, because you.
Okay, the plot. Yeah.
Yeah, the plot, or just the idea of the concept of the series. That type, yeah, but that type of vocabulary, the plot, yeah, that would have been a good word to use. Yeah, but it wasn't bad. It was very good. You spoke very fluently, very naturally. Usually, the problem in this part, as you know, is that 1 minute passes very quickly, and people don't have time to answer the question. But you had more than enough time, so you finished before the minute was finished. But you realized that you had finished early, and you continued speaking, and it was about 7 seconds before the end that you finished. So I think it was pretty good, yeah. And you used some good speculative vocabulary. The only one little mistake you made, and I'm sure you can correct it yourself. You said a girl, which is probably.
Who is? Yeah. Sorry.
But I knew you could correct yourself. Yeah. It's very difficult when you're trying to think of so many things to do that. Yeah. Well, Alex, what did you think of Lina's turn?
I suppose that she just made everything super perfect, because the pictures were very difficult, right? And I'm thinking about myself, and I can't even, no words come up to my mind which can help me to describe the pictures. So I suppose Lina's answer was good, really good.
I thought it was very good. And I think the examiners will appreciate that some pictures, if you get more difficult pictures, they will understand that they're more difficult to speak about. So, but you did well. In general, it was very good. Yeah, and I think for me, 99% of my students who try to do this exercise don't say enough in the time. They're usually the minute finishes before they've even answered a question. So you did the opposite, and that's a good sign, because you spoke quickly and fluently for just about the minute. So Lina, you're getting darker and darker.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just the light is on.
The light is on. Okay, right. Maybe it'll be okay. I was worried that in a couple of minutes you'd disappear.
No.
It's okay. It should be okay. So Alex, here are your pictures. They show different situations. I'd like you to compare two of the pictures and answer, why do you think these things are annoying to people, and what can be done about them? You have 1 minute.
Okay. In both pictures, we can see problems which people experience in their lifetime. Like in the first picture, we see the everyday problem of every person. This is the way to work and traffic jams, which I don't know, became quite a challenge for people to get to work. Whereas in the second picture, we can see piles of rubbish, and it gets very annoying nowadays as we produce a lot and we don't recycle. So the solutions in the first picture, probably you need to use more public transport or commute to work like on foot, by bike. Whereas in the second picture, we need to start cleaning, we need to recycle the things, to reuse them, and that's how we can probably make our life better and easier and help the world and clean it.
Okay, thank you. And Lina, which of these things annoys you the most and why?
Okay, I think that the picture with rubbish bins, with full rubbish bins, are the most annoying for me, because I'm concerned about environmental problems, and I'm really get annoyed with people who are just throwing away the rubbish and just don't think about anything, just what is the bag can be recycled or not, so they're just careless. So it's annoying.
Okay. Okay. Alex, what did you think of your turn?
I suppose that I've used not many vocabulary was not very good. Not many words of advanced one.
Lina, what do you
I
think?
don't agree. I think it was good turn. I think that maybe about traffic jams you were just not so
I got stuck.
persuading. Yeah, but just about rubbish bins, it was cool.
Yeah, I thought you used some good vocabulary. At the beginning, I noted commute, because you said the way to work, and you said traffic jams. I thought, she's missed an opportunity to use commute.
Yeah, your favorite word.
But later you did use it. Later you used it, so I ticked that off. So because I think that is an advanced word, because it's not it's a word that I don't know. For example, in Spanish there is no translation of commute. I don't know in Russian if you have a equivalent word. No. So I think it's a word that people find, it's an advanced word for that reason, because it's not so common in other languages. So yeah, and you said piles of rubbish, travel to work on foot or by bike, using the correct prepositions. So I thought that was very good. And you finished. I mean, I stopped the clock. I interrupted you at 1 minute and 6 seconds. So that was almost perfect. So I think you should be very happy. I mean, you've got the timing well, and for me that's really the most important thing to start with, because once you get that minute almost automatic, then you can concentrate on other things about what you're saying, because it's the biggest challenge, I think, trying to answer everything in a minute, and you both did that. So very good. Okay, so let's move on to part 3 now. Now I'd like you to talk about something together for 2 minutes. So here are some things that tourists might do before or during a trip to another country. First, talk to each other about how important it is for tourists to do these things before or during a trip to another country. You have 15 seconds to look at the diagram. Okay.
Okay, let me start. So I think that learning some of the language of the country you are going to as a tourist is paramount, because you can take the advantage, you can feel like you are at home, and you can be on the same wave with the locals. What do you think, Alex?
Oh, I totally agree with you here. It is very useful. And I suppose that having a plan for every day of the trip is also an essential part of traveling, as you need not to lose the opportunity to see the place where you go. So a good plan makes your traveling like perfect. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, you have a point. I think that that can just make your trip easier, yeah, and more effective. Maybe you can just be in time everywhere. So as for knowing about the history of the place, I think that this option is not maybe so important, but it's a good addition, yeah, and you can just expand your outlook. So what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I suppose it is good to compare what the city was like where you went and what it is now, like how it looks. As we're speaking about seeing the famous sites, I suppose this is one of the main purposes why you go somewhere. Yeah, so to see the landmarks, to see the sites. And I suppose this is one of the most I don't know, important things to do when you travel, when you visit other countries and cities. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, sure, without any doubt. As for local people, meeting them, it's a pleasure. I think we can learn from them, and just new meetings are always pleasant, I think.
Yeah. Traditions, customs, you can learn everything, acquire that, yeah, from locals. So it is good.
It's just a chance of a lifetime to talk with a local person.
Agree with you here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
We have discussed 5 of them, really.
All 5.
Yeah, very good. It's a very, very pleasant conversation. You're very agreeable. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, again, the timing is you got it down to a T. So how did you feel about that?
Oh, I think it was okay, and I coped to to use some vocabulary that I wanted, so it was rather good.
Agree here. I managed. We managed to cover all the parts, all the options, and also I suppose it was a good talk.
Yeah, I think it ticked all the boxes. Yeah, I think the important thing here, and we didn't speak about the strategy beforehand, but maybe we can talk about it a bit now. Again, one of the biggest challenges here is the time, because 2 minutes is not a lot. It's very limited to talk about, for 2 people to talk about all of these prompts. But the important thing is to move on. Always say your point, ask your partner's opinion, and then move on. Keep moving on as you did. So yeah, I mean, was that your strategy? Did you have a particular strategy beforehand, or?
Yeah, just given a point, the opponent is just agreeing or disagreeing, and then he moves on. Yeah, and then just like a chain. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say opponent?
Yeah. No, he's the partner. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's interesting. Yeah, opponent. She's not your enemy. She's you're trying to think of her.
Yeah, she's my friend. No.
She's your friend, literally. But yeah, in the exam, whoever your partner is.
This is because of the second task, the pictures.
Right.
Opponent.
Right. Yeah. It's but yeah, I think you did it very well. Yeah. Again, it's a tricky task. And you did it, yeah. I mean, there's nothing more I can say. I think the timing is so difficult, but if you just keep moving, if you just keep that in mind, as I said, when I've practiced this with other students, they usually don't have enough time to speak about all of the prompts. Sometimes they spend 1 minute talking about the first prompt, and in the end, they don't speak about 1 or 2 of them. So, so you did it very well. It's a very good example. So now, still on part 3, we have an extra question, as you know. So now you have 1 minute to decide which of these things is the most important for tourists to do.
Okay, so the most important thing for tourists to do when they are planning a trip or when they are arranging a trip, I suppose, that's meeting local people, because they can acquire new things from these local traditions, customs. They can see new things and learn, learn everything new just from the locals. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a point, but as I see it, I think that learning some of the language is more important, and just this advantage will help you to be not maybe an ordinary tourist, but to just travel with pleasure and to be everywhere, just like at home.
Okay. Yeah, probably you are right here because this thing will help you meet local
Yeah,
people and
yeah.
communicate.
So they are connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, again, almost exactly 1 minute. I mean, I interrupted you a little bit, but I think you were finishing anyway, weren't you? So it's.
Yeah.
I think I asked you this last time. You're not timing it yourselves.
Yeah.
You don't have a clock there.
Alarm clock inside.
Yeah. Oh, inside. Yeah, but not. Yeah, that's such an advantage, really. If you can, as I said, get a feel for how long 1 minute is, how long 2 minutes are. That will give you the freedom to think about what you're saying, the content of what you're saying. And again, that was a good, natural, fluent conversation. I love the way you finished with that that conclusion. That really, it almost like you planned it before, but this is the first time you've spoken about this, isn't it? So yeah, it was great. What did you think?
Yeah, just I got stuck somewhere, but okay.
I thought that I was talking too long, so I was talking, and then I understood that come on, time, stop, and so I just quit.
Well, it's good that you're conscious of that. You're thinking of that. You weren't talking too long. I think you both spoke almost equal amounts. You both contributed equally, more or less. I don't know precisely, but it's good that you're thinking that because you want to always have at the back of your mind. Am I speaking too much? You know, do I need to speak more? But again, it seems that you've got it down perfectly. So very good. So I think those are the most difficult parts out the way now, don't you think? I mean, part 2 and part 3 are usually the most difficult for people. So I really think part 4, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think part 4 is an opportunity just to really relax as much as possible and demonstrate your level in a natural, fluent conversation. So, I mean, do you have any strategies for this part?
No strategies. We actually haven't practiced part 4 yet. So last week was the first time when we practiced part 4, I suppose. Yeah. We were concentrating on the third part and the second one. Probably they were the most difficult for us.
Yeah.
Timing.
Part 2 and part 3 are the ones you really need to develop a strategy and to get the timing right. Part 1, you're not really against the clock. You don't want to speak too much, but you don't have to worry about the time. And part 4, they are questions related to the topic in part 3. So I think it really, especially for you two, because you have very good levels and you take the opportunity to demonstrate your level, as it's the last opportunity you'll get in the exam. So like part 1 is good to make a good first impression, and now it's the last opportunity. So I will ask you questions, and you speak together to just in as natural as possible. So what changes have taken place in tourism in recent times?
Oh, yeah, it's a difficult question because I said that the current situation with this virus doesn't just give us opportunity to travel, and I'm not sure that I'm an expert in this area. What about you?
I suppose, yeah, so this pandemic just, I don't know, all the borders are closed. You don't have the ability to travel. You don't have the opportunity to visit other places. You got stuck in the city where you live. So I think the situation has changed a lot in our lives as tourists. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. So this is the change here that we can talk about. So this virus has changed our lives, and the traveling has become more difficult, and just people are eager to visit some place. They are just, I know, they are dreaming about it, but they
Yeah.
can't. So, and it's a problem, I think.
But like on the other hand, people started visiting local places. Yeah, they started
Yeah.
traveling around their countries. So they started visiting, I don't know, nearest cities and towns and the places which they have never been to. So from this point of view, this is a good opportunity to, like to find out something new about the place where you live. Yeah, what's your
Yeah.
opinion?
Yeah, so you have a point. I think that this development of local tourism is a nice just option of this virus. Yeah, so
Yeah.
nice consequence of this virus, and just some people are getting a real buzz of it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they are into this local tourism, and they like just knowing the area. And
Yeah.
what about you? Have you tried this local tourism?
Unfortunately, no, because we are quite, I don't know, home sitting people. Yeah, we are home lovers, and I'm actually a little bit over, I don't know, like, okay, I have extra burden at work, the workload. Yeah, so that's why for now, we stay at home. But I suppose in the nearest future, probably we would try that, the opportunity to visit the nearest places,
Yeah.
because it is as expensive as going abroad now.
Yeah, yeah. So, and yeah, coming back to the changes, I think that ecological tourism is getting more popular.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
Just like hiking, camping, and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
just while you are traveling, you are picking up some litter, and then you
Yeah.
recycle, and just yeah, this is some
So
kind
it's
of ecological.
developing, yeah, right now, just
Yeah,
with the changes in the tourism. Yeah, I suppose this is a good thing, because you are not only enjoying yourself, you are helping the nature. Yeah.
yeah,
So this is a good I don't know, the other side of the
yeah. I think it's
pandemic.
just a tendency which can be worth trying. Yeah.
Good.
So
Agree.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That was very good. That was a very. The examiner will have a list of questions, but I think that would probably be enough, which is good. I think I will, because we can. I'll ask. I think that would be enough, but I will ask another question.
Okay.
Sorry, my dog is here too.
Yeah,
Annoying me,
my
but,
dog is here too
oh
as
really?
well.
learning English.
My cats are behind the door.
Right. So yeah, one extra question. Some people say that tourism does more harm than good. Do you agree?
It depends probably on the type of tourists. Some people tend to just spoil everything, spoil the nature, throw out the rubbish. So yeah, and on the other hand, there is a type of tourists like Lina, like me, who can go for a walk, go hiking, and pick up litter. So yeah, on the one hand, it is right, but on the other hand, I suppose that there are good people who do not spoil. What do you
Yeah.
think?
As for me, I think that this is a controversial question, yeah. And on the one hand, we can help the nature while we are traveling, but on the other hand, people who are traveling, they don't feeling that they are at home, so they can do anything they like, yeah. So they are not, they don't value, yeah, the place where they are. So just see the sights, or just visit some place and go home. But just, I don't think that there are many people like this. I hope that there are not many.
Okay, I hope to.
Okay, very good. I think that would definitely be the end of the exam. So very good. I thought that was very good. You can relax now. Relax you. I thought you used some good vocabulary. I took some notes of the good vocabulary. The borders are closed. Eager. Eager. I think Lina, I can't remember in the context, but people are eager to travel or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a buzz.
Mm-hmm.
People get a buzz. It's
Yeah,
to get a
I'm
buzz.
trying. I'm trying to remember this word, and
Right.
I'm using it just wherever
Constantly.
I can. Yeah,
Use
I
it or
like
lose it. So that's a good
Yeah.
idea. But you get a buzz from something. I think you said to get a
From.
buzz to, but it's a
Yeah, from.
buzz.
Yeah, from. Mhm.
Yeah, a buzz. So B-U-Z-Z, buzz. Yeah, but good, very good vocabulary. I think Lina, you also said I'm into local tourism, or people are into
Yeah.
local, so they like doing it. To be into something is good. Alex, you said burden. My work is a burden, or my job
Yeah.
is a burden. I have that's very good vocabulary. Then you started speaking about ecological tourism. Yeah, things like on one hand, on the other hand, all that type of vocabulary is what you need to be using in the advanced. And that's why I thought this part 4 would be good for you, because that's where you have really demonstrated that vocabulary more than the other parts, I think, because I think you can relax more, and it was an authentic conversation. You were really interested in what you were talking about. You weren't just inventing something. So very well done. I think we should finish by getting the dogs in the video.
Yeah.
Now she's shy. Now she's shy.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you
Quite similar.
hey, the same breed almost.
Almost.
Nice.
Same markings, yeah.
Okay.
What's your dog's name, Lina?
Archie.
Archie.
Yeah.
Archie, nice name. This is Amy. Amy and Archie.
Okay.
And Alex, purring or growling?
Yeah.
Your cats, Alex, they're
behind
outside.
the door. If I open, they can like come in.
And disturb you.
Yeah.
So we'll finish there. Thank you very much for doing this, and very well done. Very good.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lina and Alex, once again for agreeing to do this. You were great. I think you're a great example to other students. So I think a lot of people got a lot of benefit from that class. So as I said, if you enjoyed that, if you found it useful, subscribe, because you'll see more of those types of videos coming in the future. And check out all my other videos. I have plenty about the Cambridge English exams. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon for another video. Take care.